Backyard Bullion here. Gold is much better than silver. It is the metal of choice for me and many others out there in this world. Now, you might say that's a little bit of a strange thing to say with the way that the metal markets have gone in the last week, with the big rises that we've seen in silver. But please bear with me, because I genuinely do think that the market moves that we've seen in this last week are a key indicator that there is sentiment for gold being that metal of choice, that stability metal. Silver is volatile, it goes up, it goes down a lot more than it does with gold. And it has, in my opinion, this last week solidified gold's position as being a valuable commodity, a valuable asset that people want to hold and keep hold of as well. So there's a lot to cover in today's video. As we go through it, please make sure, if you are enjoying it, to hit that thumbs up button, like, share, comment and subscribe. And I'd love to know your opinions down below, so please do get commenting. Now, I really do think that gold is the best metal to buy, but that doesn't mean that I don't like silver and that I don't buy silver. I personally will use my silver as a means to get more gold. So if I'm buying Britannias or Eagles or whatever coinage that there might be out on the market, the Queen's Beasts, I will be using it as a means to get more gold. And what I mean by that is I will be looking to cash it in at some point and use that money to swap into gold. And that is basically my way of playing the gold to silver ratio, which is the cornerstone of the argument that I'm making here today, that gold is better than silver. And the price movements that we've seen this week, this last 7 days basically, has solidified in my mind, and I think in a lot of other institutions' minds as well, that gold is king, because we had a huge gold silver ratio of 120 ounces of silver to 1 ounce of gold. And if you're not familiar with the gold silver ratio, it is a really important concept that you can use to get a good indication of which metal is the better buy at any given time on a market. And historically, ratios back in the day, back in 1920s, historically ratios have been 8 to 1, 16 to 1. More recently, we've seen 40 to 1, 50, 60 to 1. I think the lowest it's been in the last 5 years is about 65 to 1. It went up to 120 to 1. So in theory, if you bought a bunch of gold early on, you could have changed that gold up for silver, and then now the ratios come back down to 80 to 1. You could exchange that gold back, or that silver back, for gold, and you could have accumulated a drastically large amount more gold over that time. So it's an interesting concept, and one which I like to play a little bit. Ultimately, that's how I want to try and accumulate more gold in the future when gold prices are higher than they are now. It seems like I'm trying to buy my gold ahead of time, but in a different form. But what the most important thing is, that ratio of 120 to 1, it really did indicate to everybody on the market that silver was the best thing to buy. It was either that gold was drastically overvalued or that silver was drastically undervalued. And I don't think it took very many people to work out that actually it really was silver that was massively undervalued. And I think now that we've seen these price rises in this last week, there's a lot of people out there who are also very much of the understanding that, yeah, silver has been really dirt cheap for a very long time, and now perhaps we have moved away from this period where you can buy cheap silver, and it now is going to be more expensive. So it was going to be one of two things: either gold would come down in price and silver would stay static, or silver would go up and gold would stay static. But despite everything in the market, everything in the world, gold held its value. Silver went up. And that was the biggest indicator to me that gold is the place to have those long-term sort of funds stored. It really is that it's the golden metal. I mean, it's gold for a reason. It is the most valued metal for a reason. I know it's not the most valued in terms of pounds per ounce, but in terms of volume throughout the world, the share of the marketplace, yes, there are other metals which are more expensive, but the most metals that companies and countries and organizations and individuals own is gold, in my opinion, or it should be anyway. Now, as I said, that doesn't mean there isn't a place for silver in any portfolio, but it does make you think that the volatility of the silver market and the relative stability of the gold market always seems to be the drawing factor. And I've certainly seen that in action in the last week. I definitely feel like the price changes that we've seen and the, in fact, gradual increase in the price of gold, let alone the big increases in the price of silver, have definitely indicated that gold is the place to put your money. And now, of course, with that ratio coming down again, one might think that it is time to buy more gold. Because that ratio being down puts it in favour of gold. Perhaps we're going to see the ratio increase back up to the hundreds, and you can play that ratio and accumulate more metal for your money over time. Now, I don't know quite where metal prices are going to go. I do genuinely think that we've hit a little peak right now. We've seen some stability in prices in this last couple of days, and I mean, to be honest, who knows where things are going to go. It's one of the reasons why we're doing 2 midweek videos this week, because it just can be you make a video and 24 hours later it becomes irrelevant. So who knows is the honest answer. That said, I do genuinely feel that there is still places for both metals in portfolios. One thing that I do want to touch on while I've got it on the table here is that platinum seems to be now the metal that is the cheapest by all standards. So historically, platinum seemed to be the one that was the most expensive metal. It was priced higher than gold at one point, and I have talked about platinum before in the past and why, in my opinion, I think it is completely undervalued right now, and it should be priced more than gold almost. It should be, but it's not, and there are industrial factors at play for that. But because of the extending of the gold to silver ratio and the holding of gold, it's now less than half the value of gold, and that is absolutely mind-boggling. I know there's a lot of people out there who genuinely think that that is something that needs to be corrected at some point, and the question will be, will it be gold that drops in price relative to platinum, or will it be platinum that rises relative in price to gold? And it has to be, in my opinion, that gold will hold its value. Gold is that metal right now that people are wanting to put their money into, that organisations and institutions around the world are wanting to put that money into, not platinum. So is it a good buy right now? This is not financial advice. I don't want to tell you to rush out and buy a bunch of platinum, but for me it does represent the cheapest of all 3 metals to look to purchase at the moment, for sure. That said, in terms of my strategy going forward for the rest of 2020, I do think there is going to be some pullbacks in prices. There's been a few commentaries from some big silver tubers here on YouTube that think one of 2 things. Either it's going to sort of go continually upwards. We've seen a kind of pullback in terms of that upward trend. Is this the start of a pull down and then a rubber band effect? I don't know. I can see it happening. I could genuinely see a rubber band effect for silver. So for me right now, there is sort of reluctance to buy more coin silver and, absolutely go and load the truck up, so to speak, because riding that wave up is a really dangerous concept to try and do, and I would very much try and advocate people out there to analyse why it is you want to buy your silver or gold or metals generally. I think if you are after wealth preservation and money protection, kind of insurance for the shorter term, as in to try and ride us out through this next 18 months, your probably safer bet will be that lovely, wonderful gold. But if you want to hold something that you think might end up yielding you more cash in the future, then perhaps silver is the metal of choice. There's still the problem with silver, and this is now affecting more people around the world, is that the premiums on it are really high. We're seeing some big price hikes, and people getting taken advantage of by dealers who have silver eagles for sale, for example. I mean, ultimately, the sort of status of a silver eagle, if you're a US buyer, I think is insignificant in the bigger picture, is what I'm trying to say. I think if you want to have silver, you shouldn't be paying $35 an ounce for eagles. You should look at other options out there for precious metals. It really is such a huge premium, and one that I don't think you're likely to get a yield on very much in the future. Gold, on the other hand, you can get obviously much cheaper to spot price, and that's a much higher form of liquidity. In my opinion, I do genuinely think that you'll be safer off purchasing gold over silver. That said, I don't want to besmirch or, belittle people's strategies for buying silver. It's going to be relative to everybody's circumstances and situations and beliefs to a certain extent as well. There are definitely cases to be had for both of these metals. But for me, the market indications in this last couple of weeks have definitely been for me to solidify gold's position in the market as the king of metals, and I think it will be reigning as king for a very long time. There are going to be people who say, yes, but look, Backyard Bullion, the price of silver is so undervalued still relative to gold. There's still room to go. Yes, I would tend to agree, but there is just so much turmoil and turbulence in the world, and we could see secondary lockdowns, we could see secondary spikes in coronavirus cases, and a whole host of economic impacts still to come in the rest of 2020 into 2021 and the rest of this decade. And I just can't see gold really losing a great deal of value. So it's going to be an interesting roller coaster for sure. I could well be completely wrong. If I am, so be it. I'm not here to give financial advice on this channel. I'm here simply to ask the interesting questions and have a good old think about them. That's how I process the world. It's how I process my financial decisions on these kind of metals. For me, it is all about that longer term. So for me, I really don't mind paying the £1,500 an ounce for gold right now. In fact, the fact that silver has come down and gold has solidified its sort of price point, it really does say to me, actually, it's not the end of the world. If, for example, the next Queen's Beast series coins that come out in the next couple of weeks, in fact, I've got a couple of them sitting just off camera here, if I can get them out of my box. The next Queen's Beasties are coming out in the near future. Here we go. And I want to purchase them. I love the 1 ounce gold versions. And for me, it is, it's going to be an expensive purchase relative to the first bits of the coin. I remember when the first ones came out and you were thinking, gosh, the Griffin, it's now retailing at £1,400. Oh my God, £1,400, and gold price is £1,000 an ounce. That's such a high premium. And now you're looking at buying just the bog standard back end of the series for £1,600 an ounce. It will be probably with the premiums from the Royal Mint or from dealers. So, there's a lot of things to think about. But for me, I can't see in that long term it being a big problem. Of course, it's going to affect people's pockets and ability to purchase multiples of sets, definitely. But for me, they're all a long-term purchase, and that really does. The indications from the market for me are to solidify my thoughts and positioning and reasoning around gold being king. So I know that might irk a few people who really do think that silver is the bee's knees, the best thing since sliced bread, and I don't want you to go away from this video thinking that I don't like silver. I do think silver represents a good buying opportunity. It's still, I think a really good metal to have generally, but do so responsibly, do so with an understanding that it is higher risk than gold. I think a lot of people need to understand that. The last thing that I will just finish up on by saying is that with the silver price being where it is, it does represent a pretty good opportunity right now for premium silver products. So, and I don't really want to blow my own trumpet. You guys who've been watching my channel for a while, you'll know if you want some poured silver from myself or other creators out there, then it's a really good way of getting some really cool, unique pieces and poured silver and supporting channels that you like. But just generally on the market, there are a lot of other really cool products that now seem a lot more attractive than your standard Bullion Britannias or American Eagles. So there's definitely buying opportunities for silver. And of course, with the rising silver prices, those premium coins have this underlying safety net, which is much better than £10 an ounce or $15 an ounce silver. So there's a lot of really interesting kind of concepts to explore in the next couple of weeks and months ahead of us, definitely. But I'd love to know your thoughts. Which is the king metal for you? For me right now, it still is gold, despite the ridiculously cheapness, apparently, of platinum. I don't know quite how much platinum has legs to increase big time. It just seems like it's a never-ending spiral of negativity for platinum in terms of that long haul. But it does represent, I think for me and a lot of other people, the cheapest metal on the market right now. Gold represents the most stable purchase, in my opinion, that you can have. Silver is that volatile money maker. You can make a lot of money with it, but you can also lose a lot of money with silver for sure. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. All I ask is that you be respectful of mine and other people's opinions, and I love to engage with you all down there, so please feel free to challenge me, but do so respectfully, and we'll have a good, fun, healthy debate. If you enjoyed the video, please put a thumbs up on it and share it around, and if you're a member of the BYB Rambling Society, thank you for watching thus far. Give yourself a shout out. I do like hearing from my BYB Ramblers. Otherwise, that's it from me this week. We've got a really very cool In Focus Friday coming this Friday, obviously. It's a very cool piece, and it's a premium piece as well. You definitely don't want to miss out on. So, that is it from me. Thank you all for watching. Have a great week ahead. And as always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.